What is going on, everybody? PHX here. Thank you for stopping by, and today we are going to be talking about the latest patch release from Outriders that was done on the back end. And so what that means is there is no actual download or anything that you have to do for your Outriders game. If you still have it installed, everything was done on the back end. This includes all of the balance changes and the appreciation package. So let's go ahead and jump right into what the patch notes have to say. So to start off, the Community Appreciation Package. The Community Appreciation Package is here, and everyone who has played Outriders to date is eligible. Your most experienced character has been granted a random God rolled legendary weapon, which you have not previously obtained on any character. If your inventory is full, please check your stash for the legendary weapon. If both your inventory and stash are full, the legendary weapon will appear when you next free up an inventory space and restart the game. If you have already previously found all weapons, your character will be granted the rarest weapon for the class. Extra titanium based on your character's level. A new emote, Frustration, has been unlocked for all your characters. A game restart may be required for it to appear. And thank you all for your support and encouragement since Outriders launched. We are always listening to feedback and are still as committed to improving and enhancing your experience as ever. Which legendary weapon did you get as part of the package? Let us know in the replies. Alright, so I can already tell you that a lot of people are not going to be happy with this so-called appreciation package. One emote, titanium, and a legendary weapon that you don't have, which I find it kind of hard to believe that nobody has all of the legendary weapons or the legendary armor pieces. But for me, I benefited from it because even though with the amount of hours I did play, which is like over 500, I still was missing one weapon, and that was the weapon, the automatic shotgun with Moaning Winds. So as you can see, it dropped on my Trickster. Trickster is my main class that I've always been playing ever since Outriders came out. It's the most heavily used class, and it did drop a 99.4 automatic Anemoi automatic shotgun variant with Moaning Winds. So it did benefit me in a way, but I can already tell you that people who have grinded this game constantly for hours on end and have all the gear probably not going to benefit from it. So if you are one of those players that have been grinding for it and have all the legendary weapons, let me know in the comments section below if you got anything new, any new weapons, or if anything at all. The titanium issue, I don't really see how that is beneficial. Titanium really isn't that hard to come by, especially if you're doing your CTs, the higher tiers. And then the emote, the frustration emote really does kind of depict the community as a whole, so it is pretty funny, but I don't know, I think a lot more could have been done with the appreciation package. Personally, I think they should have gone for the route of maybe a max god roll legendary weapon and maybe a max god roll full gear set, because it has been kind of cumbersome for everyone in the community with all of the bug issues and the just all of the patches and the rebalancing of changes, the damage mitigation issues, the armor mitigation, the one-hit kills. Like, there's been a lot that has happened throughout the community, and I feel like the appreciation package could have gone a little bit more. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Should they have done both a legendary weapon and a max god roll legendary gear set? So continuing on with the patch notes. Now this patch kind of brings in a rebalancing to the player instead of the NPCs, which is really good, and it is on the right track to give us that powerful feel. So the balancing preamble. Today's changes focus primarily on buffing underused skills and improving player survivability via armor rebalancing. This is only an initial first pass based on the mass player data that we're seeing in our analytics. If something has not been mentioned here, do not fret. Work is already underway for upcoming balance passes, which will look at other topics of focus, including legendary drop distribution. We are also aware that timed expeditions remain a point of contention regarding balancing, and that they are a fundamental problem for many players, as their time nature can drive a too heavily DPS focused meta. Addressing the root cause of this issue is something that will take a longer time. This is not something we will be able to address as part of the immediately upcoming patches, but we are working on this issue and are continuing to look into what is feasible in the long term. So the balance notes. Health on armor. The health available on armor pieces has been increased greatly and rebalanced. It is now possible to effectively double character health by using certain gear pieces. Previously, investing into improving your health was not providing enough value gain. This change will make it easier to build a greater health pool and survive longer. Devastator. Reflect bullets base damage has been increased by 250% from 0.1 to 0.25. Base damage at level 1. This buff will help players better deal with smaller mobs, but efficiently killing elites will still require the use of other skills as well. The base damage dealt by the bullet acceleration mod has been increased by 330% from 10 to 33 base damage at level 1. Impale. The HP regen granted by the Impale skill has been increased by 50% from 0.02 to 0.03 base regen at level 1. The range of Vlad's Grasp mod has been increased 100%, previously 25%. And note regarding the Impale. We are aware that some players would like enemies to be registered as dead faster after impalement. Changing this behavior might have ramifications for the AoE armor and health regen buffs this skill provides, but we're currently concerning what can be done here. Alright, so let's just break this down real quick. Overall, I mean, the balance changes, again, they are on the right track with increasing the effectiveness and the efficiency of the Devastator class, because we all know that the Devastator does have a point where it's not DPS focused. You should be tank focused with that. So trying to modify the mods and the skills for the Devastator is good, but it should definitely be better, hopefully here in the long run. It is good that they are aware of the time expeditions, because you know the time expeditions are heavily focused on having a DPS meta, and because of that, I mean, even with the balance changes like health, you're still going to need to proc into DPS in order to do enough amount of damage to get that gold tier at least. For them to come out and say like, you know, they're taking the feedback and being able to categorize it and understand what the issues are, that's very good. I really hope that over the next couple months, with all their balance changes and passes, that it is for the better for us, the players, rather than the NPCs, because we want to feel that power. And overall, just in general, being able to have that power creep and being able to be efficient at the activities that we're doing, you know, it's starting to become, you know, kind of a headache, because we're going through constantly week in and week out, but at least they're acknowledging these certain issues. I wish it could be done faster. I wish they would give it more of a priority, but you know, because of the industry and how they have to test everything and everything in between and make sure everything is working and no other bugs are getting in, it is understandable. So the next part of the balance changes, we have Pyromancer, Phaser Beam. Phaser Beam base damage has been increased by 100% from 0.3 to 0.6, base damage level 1. Phaser Beam's SPF has been set to 2.1, previously 1.5. SPF controls how much the Phaser Beam skill benefits from the status power attribute. This change effectively means that the damage from Phaser Beam may well be doubled and then some, though the effectiveness of this improvement still depends on the character's status power attribute. These changes will help the skill kill particularly Riflemen, Berserkers, and Shotgunners with ease. Volcanic Armor mod's damage reduction has been increased to 65% for both anomaly and physical damage, previously 50%. Technomancer, Tool of Destruction, the RPG summoned by Tools of Destruction, has had its base damage increased by 66%. The RPG summoned by Tools of Destruction has had its fall-off reduced, minimum range increased by 50%. The base damage dealt by the Demolition Man mod has been increased to 65, previously 35. The changes will help players one-shot Riflemen while also putting massive damage to Shockers and Berserkers. Fixing Wave, the healing provided by Fixing Wave has been increased to 65%. Cold Snap, the armor reduction dealt by the Frostbite mod has been increased to 100%. The base damage dealt by the Ice Baby mod has been increased by 300%. These changes will allow players to have an extra go-away mob skill and will combine well with the following freeze turret change. So the changes to Pyromancer specifically, Phaser Beam is just not a viable enough skill to use because it takes too long to proc and you're kind of out in the open when using it, which causes more of the damage issue that we see here in the game. So again, on the right track, but really doing the skill, it should be very quick, and honestly, you should be able to have iframes at least while you're doing the skill, because being in a predicament, there's no real reason to use Phaser Beam. Technomancer, I'm surprised they actually even gave Technomancer a buff, because Technomancer is kind of the meta of this game. You use it and you can get through an AC T15 in under a great amount of time. But you know, all of the changes for Technomancer, increased changes, should help in a way, especially during group sessions as well. Alright, and lastly for the balancing pass, we've got the freeze turret. The duration of the freeze turret has been increased to 30 units. This should increase the turret's health by 50% and prolong its life. Trickster, Borrowed Time, the base damage dealt by the aggressive teleportation mod has been increased by 111%. Hunt the Prey, the base damage dealt by the backstabber mod has been increased by 100%. And the Temporal Slice, the base damage dealt by the strong slice mod has been increased by 71%. So overall, we have got some pretty big changes. Again, they're not game changing in a way to where like this will make people come back, but it is on the right track again for making this game what it is supposed to be, which is undeniable power, making the player feel awesome in what they do, making them feel rewarded at the end of the expeditions and whatever content is coming in the future. Overall, I like that they brought these changes in because it shows that they're listening. It shows that they are on the right track. There were some instances where I felt like the damage bug is still kind of there because I did get one shot in one expedition, but you know, hopefully they'll be able to get that fixed here sooner rather than later. But other than that, guys, that is it for the video. That is the balance changes. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you found this video informative and helpful, please go ahead, leave a like, dislike, and a comment. It really helps the algorithm. And other than that, guys, likes appreciated, subs respected, and I will catch you all around next time. Take care.